Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. It has been a really long time since we last took a look at this game. Not since going through the Deltascape in patch 4.0, and technically we still haven't completed that. My plan is to complete that for you once patch 4.2 comes out and the next part of the Omega Raid comes out. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and log in and let's take a look at some of the new content that dropped with today's 4.1 patch. Okay, and so here we are in Shirogane, the new area that was released for housing. And as you can see here, we actually have an empty plot here. And the reason this is empty is because I was one of the few that actually did manage to get a home here. Let me go ahead and click on this now. You can see my name right here. And I wanted to take this opportunity to actually build a house with you here. So let's go ahead and go under the housing menu here. And what we're going to do is we are going to set up our estate hall, and we're going to purchase a construction permit here. Now I've got a small plot here, so it's not going to be too big, not compared to the other homes that are around here, but this should still suffice. Now we've got three choices that we can choose from here. Let me kind of back up and move these out of the way. And of the ones that I'm seeing here, I'm liking the top as well as the bottom one here. I think I'm actually going to go with the bottom one, so let's go ahead and purchase that. And also, just for reference, the reason I could not get a bigger place than this, if you take a look at my guild, I simply could not afford a bigger one. Otherwise, I probably would have tried to have at least gone for a medium-sized one. Let's go ahead and purchase that. And now we are going to build the estate hall. And there we go, estate hall complete. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. Oh dear, okay, so I kind of expected right now, given that this is patch day, so we'll have to check this out a little bit later. Hopefully we'll be able to actually get inside later during the broadcast here. Otherwise, I plan to do a further look at this on another episode here. But for the meantime, let's go ahead and make our way over to Kugane. And the reason we're doing that here is because I want to take a look around for a specific quest that should have unlocked here. Now let's see here. We've got a couple of quests. We've got Dramatis Personae. Let me see what that one is. It looks like that one is actually near where... It looks like that one is near the Wandering Minstrel, where he has set himself up. Actually, he is over here, while there's another one over here. Here we go. This is K10. Yes, I believe this is the one that we actually want here. Welcome, my lord. There's a young maiden here who would speak with you. Miss, the adventurer has arrived. And there he is, the liberator of both Doma and Alamigo in the flesh. I am Lena Murella, correspondent for the Raven. You may recognize me from my exposé on the secret lives of the homunculi. But enough small talk. It is not for nothing that I've been standing here since yesterday morning on the off chance you'd pass by. I'm curious why. No, I'm here because... Actually, it's best you heard it from Alma. I am but an observer. Alma? That's a curious name to see. Alma, come. I've found him. Is this the adventurer of whom you spoke? Indeed it is. Please, I beg of you, find my father. You are his only hope. It's all right, Alma. We are attracting unwanted attention. Might I suggest a change of venue? We will await you before the Prima Vista. The theater barge has a berth at the airship landing. Alright, and so with that, we have now begun the quest sequence, which is going to lead us into the Final Fantasy Ivalice Alliance content. Ivalice, if you don't remember, or if you're not aware, was a basically another world set within the games of the Final Fantasy Tactics, as well as the Final Fantasy XII games. And it's going to be kind of curious to see what Matsuno, who originally directed some of those games, is going to have in store for us here. As I said before, I think it's better we continue this conversation in the privacy of the young lady's barge. It's not that I don't trust anyone here, it's simply that I don't trust anyone here. Gate guard Minagumo has been instructed to look out for you. In future, speak with him when you wish to gain admission to the docks. Okay, give me one moment here. So there's a chance I may be able to hop in with my free company. If not, we'll go on our own here. Thank you for coming, Prince. You're probably wondering why I've summoned you to an airship, and a Garleum one at that. Allow me to explain on the shuttle. The Prima Vista serves as both stage and home to the majestic Imperial Theater Company. You can keep that dirk in your drawers. No one here is a member of the Imperial Army, nor are there any spies within the troop, at least no known spies. Ask anyone and they will readily attest. The majestic Imperial Theater Company are the finest practitioners of the dramatic arts to be found anywhere on the 3 great continents and beyond. They have admirers throughout the Empire and its territories, and even boast a sizable following in Gridania, hence my assignment to their story. It is a little-known fact, outside Garlemald at least, that the late Emperor was a devoted patron of the arts, who supported various theater troupes to the tune of much coin. Indeed, Solus was so enamored of the majestic players that he ordered the construction of this very airship, that the troupe might perform in every corner of the Empire. When his grandson took the throne, however, everything changed. Now all theater troupes, domestic and foreign, must submit their works for approval by the Central Imperial Board of Censors. If a play is deemed vulgar or inflammatory, it is banned and the troupe denied their writs of transit. The worst offenders? Well, they are never heard from again. This policy has effectively left playwrights with one of 2 options: compromise their creative integrity to curry favor with his radiance, or put down their quills altogether. The principal of the Majestic, however, chose a third option: to express his disapproval for the new Emperor's policies obliquely, in ostensibly unpolitical works. Pray forgive me for my earlier outburst. I am Alma Bas Laxentel, daughter of Principal Genomus Sen Lexentel. Mayhap you have heard of my father's latest play, the Zodiac Brave story? On the surface, it is an innocent retelling of a well-known Garlean fairy tale, hardly worth of the censor's attention, but beneath, it is something quite different, a fact the censors failed to spot when they approved the manuscript for public performance. The play quickly became a huge success. The common folk loved its fantastical story, while the learned classes appreciated its true message. By the time the Imperial Board of Censors realized their mistake, it was too late, no longer in a position to prohibit the performance outright without admitting fault. They took aim at the company's purse strings instead. Before long, noble patrons began to withdraw their support, fearing to be associated with the troupe, and by the end, even the learned felt compelled to feign ignorance. By bleeding the Majestic of their funding, the censors robbed them of their voice. And none of this has made it any clearer as to why you're here, right? Allow me, Lena. Sid. I've known Genomus since we were students at the Magitech Academy. When I heard his daughter was in Kugane looking to enlist the aid of an adventurer, I felt compelled to give her your name. Sorry for not announcing myself sooner, old friend. Genomus and I were from different worlds, but that only served to fuel our friendship. Many were the nights we would prattle on into the wee small hours, warm flagons of pleated ale numbing our minds to the other's naive ideologies. Yet no matter where our conversation began, it would invariably end with him telling me how he was going to change the Empire from the inside out. The troupe was to be his path into the people's hearts. Even after the Empire forced him from his home, Genomus never gave up hope that his work might change the world. Art will ever strain against artificial bounds and borders, man-made walls and misguided wars. It is in such times of uncertainty that we must needs embrace our calling, and take the disguise so others might do the same. What I am trying to say, rather poorly I concede, is that not all Garleans are hewn from the same stone. Just as there are those who pledge their lives to the Empire and would never think to question the authority of its leaders, there are those like Alma's father and myself whose love for their country does not blind them to its flaws. Still, try selling that sack of sunflower to an Alamegan or a Doman who has watched his family consumed in the flames of a Magitech Reaper. How many Eorzean adventurers do you think would leap at the opportunity to help an Imperial search for her missing father? And in Garlean territory, no less. But you are different. You have seen enough to know that the line between good and evil is not defined by race, color, or creed. So, what say you? I would make for a poor adventurer were I to shy from adventure. Indeed. Now that you understand the nature of the task, perhaps Alma could provide some insight as to where we might begin our search. Shortly before my father disappeared, he began working on his next play, a successor to the Zodiac Brave story. But I am getting ahead of myself. Please follow me. So just for reference, part of the reason why I believe Cid is there is also because there was a Cid in Final Fantasy Tactics called Thunder God Cid. So it's interesting that they've made that connection here. Through adventure and hardship, young Delita, a boy of common blood, becomes a hero, culminating in the birth of the mythical kingdom of Ivalice. But that is where the story ends. There are no records of anything that follows. Was Principal Genomus simply going to invent something? My father believed that he had discovered evidence of a second hero, one whose efforts went largely unnoticed, but without whom Delita would never have risen to the throne. His was the next tale he wanted to tell, the true Zodiac Brave story. A second hero? According to my father's studies, this young man was one of Delita's closest friends and confidants. That is, until the untimely passing of Delita's sister forced the two to part ways. Yet the unnamed hero continued to provide aid to his friend by thwarting the machinations of those who would scheme against Delita, thus paving the way for the Pauper's rise to regent. You must forgive me, but I've never heard anyone make such claims. How exactly did your father come by this information? Now, just for reference, they are talking about the events of the original Final Fantasy Tactics, also known as the War of the Lions. That is a long story, one which begins and ends with Geonomus becoming lost in the very legend he sought to lay bare. Even as far back as our academy days, Ivalice had Geonomus firmly in its grasp. He flatly refused to believe the story was just a fairy tale. And so when he was finally driven out of Garlemald, it is only natural that he should choose that of all places as his refuge. Was it not Alma? That is correct, Master Garlon. It has long been my father's belief that the ruins of ancient Ivalice lie beyond Nagsha, buried beneath the sands of the Dalmasca Desert. Poor Dalmasca. The kingdom prospered in relative isolation for countless generations, until the Empire came calling. When not touring, my father would organize expeditions into the Dalmasca Desert to search for proof of Ivalice's existence. Sometimes he would bring back strange artifacts, ancient tomes, and crystals unlike any others. Now that looks like a white auracite. My father called them auracite, and claimed they were vital to proving his theories. This is one such crystal. By the 12, it's magnificent. Ivalician legend tells of crystals bequeathed by the gods unto those who would be kings. It is during his quest to gather auracite that young Delita rises to prominence. I must have heard the tale 1,000 times from my nursemaid, but that is all it ever was, a tale. My father would often tell us how the auracite spoke to him, and at the time we assumed he was speaking figuratively, that the stone's beauty roused his muse. But then he began to act strangely. How so? Following our arrival here in Hingashi, my father spent most of his time cloistered in his chambers, poring over his past research, and though he was alone, he could oft hear him in conversation. It was not uncommon for my father to recite the lines as he wrote them, but it soon became clear that this was something else. It was as if he was talking to my mother who passed several winters gone. Might this not have been out of mere loneliness, or perhaps the strain of your flight from Garlemald? Possibly, but that would not explain the voices which answered him. Alma, who are these people? I told you I did not require any help finding father, especially from outsiders. So good of you to join us, Ramza. Allow me to introduce. Enough, Master Cid. We may be shunned by the Empire, but we are still Garleans, and we still have our pride. Unlike some, it seems. We require neither the aid nor pity of foreign rabble. Have you forgotten where you are, brother? It is we who are the foreign rabble. This land and its customs are all but unknown to us. We would be fools to conduct our search without a proven guide. Your sister is right, Ramza. As for my good friend here, your mistrust is ill-placed. I would personally vouch for his character. In all the time I have known him, he has never once let anything as insignificant as race or creed color his judgment. You are lucky to have him. But we would have you, Master Garlon. Why do you refuse us? You know why. Until this affair with Omega is resolved, my hands are tied. It pains me to refuse you and your sister, but it pains me far more to leave Geonomus to his fate. I am sorry. You need not apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me. After what happened in Rabanastre, it may be time to admit we're out of our depth. My brother's last expedition met with tragedy in the ruins of the capital city. He barely escaped with his life. The Empire turned Rabanastre into a death trap. You were a fool to set foot there without a proper escort. I realize that now, Master Garland, but at the time I saw an opportunity to rescue our father, and I took it. Whatever led you to believe your father was in Dalmasca's capital? My father's fascination with Ivalician legend began with a trip to the antediluvian city long before the war. Call it a premonition, but something tells me that that is where he has returned. Now you must excuse me. I need some time to think. Then, Alma, I shall leave you and your brother in Prince's capable hands. He has ever repaid my trust with interest. You would do well to grant him yours. Thank you, Master Garland. We will not forget this kindness. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and turn in the quest here. Master Garland seems to think highly of you, so I will withhold judgment until after Dalmasca. Okay, that quest is done. Let's continue on. And it is a city fallen. Hey there, ads. Glad you could join. Dalmasca is nestled in a forgotten corner of the Empire's outermost territories. I do not foresee any trouble from the standing army, but would suggest committing to memory the locations of each of the barge's exits, just in case. As for the flight itself, the currents above Dalmasca are as wild as the land below. You may want to hold on. Now, I believe this music plays during the opening movie for Final Fantasy Tactics, so we're probably going to keep hearing a lot of the same music here. Yeah, I believe this was a menu theme. We'll complete our descent to Rabanastre in the shuttle. Ramza! I thought I made myself clear, Alma. The capital is simply too dangerous. Father would never forgive me if I were to lose you trying to rescue him. Come, we are wasting time. And there it is. According to my father, Rabanastre was already a thriving city some 1,000 years ago. But after performing several private excavations beneath the so-called Desert Sapphire, my father came to the conclusion that it was not the first settlement to stand here. Then, your father believes that Rabanastre sits atop the Royal City of Lysalia, capital of Ivalice? But if that's true, it could change history. We would be famous. Famous? Are you sure you don't mean rich? Ha! Your kind are all like parasites grown fat on the sweat and suffering of others. Bold words for a boy of but 16 summers. And what, pray tell, have I done to deserve such spite? I only wish to learn the truth behind the disappearance of the Empire's foremost playwright. If that should lead to something bigger, well then, I would be the worst reporter in the realm if I did not pursue it. Yes, we can argue about this now, or we can return to the Prima Vista and report to our army of adventurers that it is time to begin the expedition. I humbly suggest the latter. You see, it is as I said, brother. Let them come to us. Should we kill them now? No, the time is not right. When has that stopped us before? Fool. Do you see that one? Slayer of gods, they call him. Warrior of light. It's definitely good to see the Bonga again. Alright. Let us go ahead and queue in. Hopefully the wait isn't too long. Oh, wow, more than 30 minutes. You gotta be kidding me here. Alright, I am going to try something here. Typically you see me in here as a paladin, but in the intervening time I actually have leveled up some other classes here, and I'm going to try switching over to my white mage at this point here. Let's just see if that will let us in. Okay, it's actually the same story here. I'm actually really surprised by this. Okay. So, in that case, I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to Paladin then. And we'll go ahead and queue up. And while we're waiting here, let's go ahead and head back to Shirogane now. And let's see if we're able to actually do what we were trying before. Actually, before we do that, it looks like there are actually a lot of people here. Might as well try talking to some people, so let's head back up to the bridge real quick. Very briefly, I've gone through their initial quests, but, I haven't actually leveled up Red Mage or Samurai very far. To Rabanastre. Hold on, Father. Help is on its way. You cannot expect me to walk away from this. If the legend of Ivalice is true, the public has the right to know. Alright, so that's it for them. They're really not going to say anything else here for the time being. Every muscle in a man's body has a name as beautiful as the thing it describes. I like to recite them to myself when training, while training by the light of the moon. A full moon is best, of course, but a waxing gibbous moon will suffice. So it looks like this is actually the troop here. Guardians we may be, but that does not mean we approve of the Empire's every action. We seek but peaceful coexistence with all. Aye, aye. It may sound trite, but it is also true. Despite what you may think, a good portion of Imperial citizens are at odds with the government on the matter of foreign policy. We are not all driven to invade and assimilate. The reason you do not hear about any dissenting voices is simple. Being vocal in Garlemald usually leads one to the gallows. Oh! We'll come back to them later. This just popped up. That timer is way, way off to be saying more than 30 minutes. Let's just hope everybody is ready. As for me, I am in some very good gear here, as you can tell. I am item level 329 going into this, but you only need to be item level, I believe, 305 to get in. Basically, at this point, what I need to do is I need to work on getting the different twines in order to actually get in. Or rather, in order to upgrade these to 340. As for the sword, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. Alright, here we go. Yeah, this is a 24-man raid. Alright, tank stance on, let's zoom out. Alright, here we go. Look like chocobos to me. Alright, and we've got our first target right here. Now, Mattias, I believe that was one of the names of... I'm trying to remember now if that was the name of an Esper. I'm seeing those ice lines on the ground. I want to try to stay out of them if I can. Okay, that right there is going to heal me, I believe. Everybody else seems to be working on those aqua spheres while I hold this guy in place. Lots of tethers going on here. That's for certain. Okay, they're using a dual cast. Okay, we gotta go to like a corner or something here. I'm gonna pop my hollowed ground since I'm taking a bit of damage there. Yeah, so we're under the water right now, so we gotta go inside those bubbles there. Okay, it looks like we're out of that phase. Health is about 2/5 gone. Okay, so now we need to be careful of the ice on the ground. That's going to freeze us. Alright, let's start using Holy Spirit. Alright, each of the tanks has picked up one of these Azure Guards. One left. Alright, I think this is going to be an ultimate. Whoa! Alright, so getting some varying idea of what happened here. And it looks like letters are going up now for the different targets that are that we're going to have to take care of here. I am curious what this little water spout is doing here. Alright, we're underwater again. And the bubbles are all over there. Okay, we're out. Trying to hold off on doing any of my bigger attacks for the moment until the ads come out, just in case it did have, just in case that actually was a DPS check there. Alright, here we go. Alright, so it looks like that Aether gauge is going up as long as they stay together. Hopefully, if people at least go to where they need to go during the intervening phase, right after water, people will actually be in the right places. I think what I'm going to do is I'm also going to try to mark when it is actually time for the ads to come out as well. Hopefully that'll help people. Alright, let's gather over here. Alright, we're underwater again. Hopefully people are paying attention to that symbol here. They'll be able to see that it's time to get into place. Alright, this is looking to have a bit more control this time. Alright, that's much better. Alright, it looks like we're looping from here. Alright, there we go. First boss is down. Oh, I think we got some Seek over here. Bring those birds together so we can AoE them down. Alright, let's get out of here. And we got mimics here. Mimics are treasure chests, or rather they're monsters disguised as treasure chests. And it looks like we have arrived at the second boss. One straggler. Looks like this guy is doing a lot of ground-based attacks here. Alright, this looks like a swoop. Okay, and now we gotta take this thing out. Go ahead and pop that just to keep people alive. There we go. Alright, looks like one more level to the command tower here. Alright, there we go. Looks like that was its ultimate there. Here comes another swoop. Oh, wow. At this point, I'm trying to play off healer just to get everybody up, back up here. Alright. We just popped our healer limit break. I'm gonna try to help out here. Alright, those two are gone. Alright, and the only ones left now are the tanks. Alright, so, looks like this is going to be a reset here. Alright, we're just waiting for some other players to get up here. Alright, let me just take a quick look at the map. Looks like everybody's here. Alright, let's get round 2 going. Alright, here's the swoop. Alright, we're back up. And we're down. Just waiting on one more person here. There they are. I'm curious now if I've just been lucky this whole time. I'm trying to position myself back around now to the north to pick him up. Looks like I was under that thing, even though the thing had already started collapsing there. But yes, I see what they're talking about now with the flaming claw. Alright, here go the golems. Or no, they should be coming up soon. Here we go. Yeah, I'll agree on that one. Definitely, if people are dying to that mechanic, then that's going to cause an issue. People also need to be aware of where they are once the golems are about to go down, because that's when those second set of spheres come up, as well as basically the whole area being split up into the trisection there. Alright, let's see if everybody's here. Alright, I'm starting to rotate over to my letter now, so I can be there for the sand. I think that in that particular case, we didn't take his big tower down in time. I'm actually tempted to say yes on this one here. And then see if we can get a better team here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-queue for that. Hopefully this time we'll have a little bit better luck here with the group. In the meantime, we're going to make our way back over to Kugane. And let's see if things have settled down now to the point where we can actually get inside the inside our new home. Okay, here it is down here. Let's see if we can get inside. And indeed, we are able to get inside here. So, this is the home that we built earlier today. And let's just kind of take a quick look around here. As we can see, we've got this one room over here. And if we head over here, we have a basement area with even more room for us to put stuff here. So, not the biggest of places, but this will suffice as just kind of a first place to live here. Once again, I did not have enough gil for me to even attempt going after either one of the medium or large size plots. Now, what I want to do is I want to do a few things here. I want to hit the summoning bell over here. And let me just take a quick look through what I've got. There's a couple of things I'm looking for. Okay, here's one. And I think that's it for what I need from my retainers. And let's keep making our way over to here, because what we need to do is we need to actually get some shopping done. Alright, so we've got this independent settler here, and if we bring this over, we can see that he basically sells a bunch of items here, which are permits. And these permits are going to allow us to essentially make certain purchases through people that are going to be within the home now. So let's go ahead and grab this material supplier permit A3. And then, aside from that, there are a few other things we need to do. We need to go to this housing merchant, and we're going to go to this garden option, and we're going to purchase a deluxe garden patch. Now, what this does is it allows you to grow certain plants. And for the plants that you want to grow, you need to have seeds for those. And so for that, we're going to grab ourselves a set of Karaka root seeds. Okay, let's make our way back over. And now, we're back at the house here, and we're going to go under social and housing, and we're going to go under outdoor furnishings. And we're going to select the garden patch that we just purchased. We're going to place it and yes, let's go ahead and find a good place for it here. I'm thinking putting it in the corner is probably going to be the best option. That way it's easy to access. I put it like right here. Yeah, that... It's a little finicky. Right there. There we go. Okay, so now, let's go over here. And it says there is nothing in this bed, and we are going to plant seeds, but first let's take a look at this here, gardening. It is possible to grow a diverse variety of plants in both your garden patch and in flower pots. To get started, you will need to obtain seeds and soil. Soil comes in various grades and influences crop yield and quality. Seeds and soil can be obtained through gathering by botanists and miners respectively. Once you have both, you may start growing a plant in an empty flower pot or empty bed in your garden patch. Okay, so looks like I also need to get the soil as well here. So let's make our way back over and pick up some soil. I'm thinking this blue pomance here. Alright, let's head back. You're kidding, that wasn't soil? Maybe this is what it's talking about here. I guess let's go with the shroud topsoil. We don't need 31 of them. What's the price on the rest of these? You know what? I can go with Lotion. Oh, Oh, and just for reference, keep in mind, I am on the Balmung server, which is one of the, basically the most populated server in the game, so I was extremely lucky to get this place. Alright, here we go. So, soil and seed. There we go. So that is now planted. So, the plants in your garden require constant tending if they are to thrive and yield crops. Plants that are neglected for too long will wither and die. Fertilizer can be used to enrich the soil and accelerate growth, and can be applied on any one plant up to once per hour. So is that what I just purchased? Let's see. Okay, over here. Yeah, here we go. So, fertilize. And now what's this? Okay. So that then brings out a watering can. Okay. So, let's head back inside the house now. Alright, and so it is here now that we're going to be able to basically take advantage of the other stuff that we collected here. So let's go once again under housing here. And let's try out this material supplier permit. Alright, so we need to select a race. Let's go ahead and go with an Aura. And I guess a female. And now the question is, where do we want to put them? It's actually nice that you can kind of put them in the little hallway there if you wanted to. But I'd say I probably want to keep it somewhere easy to get to. So let's put them basically by the door here. And now, oh, and we're going to rotate them. How do we rotate them? Oh, okay. We can just click and drag. Okay. Okay, it looks like we've got this grid which will let me get them a little bit closer here. And now, let's rotate them. Yeah, I think their hand is actually banging into the wall there. You know, worst case, I can always change it later. But I think this will be fine for now. Okay. And there we go. Alright, so they are now set up. And let's speak to them. And as we can see, they have access to a lot of different materials, which will help me to get some of my crafting leveling up. As you can see, I've got 3 already at 50 or above, but the rest still have a lot of work to go here. So I'll be able to get raw materials directly from them. Alright, so now let's go ahead and place a couple of other things here. Oh, actually, we will have to deal with that later. Looks like we are ready to go for another raid. Now, hopefully we don't have the same difficulties we did with the last one. If we do, we may have to come back to this on another day here, once people are more familiar with how the fights actually work. In the meantime, I'm noticing we've actually got quite a set of party for the party here. We got 2 scholars, 3 bards, and 2 summoners. Alright, somebody else has requested to be the main tank here, so I'm going to let them go for that. Alright, so in this case I'm actually going to be helping out, trying to keep people healed up a bit more than I was last time, since now my duties are not as stringent as they were before. And I'm a snowman. that is very under control here. Okay, back over to Sword Oath. Yeah, I think this group is doing a lot better than the first one. And there we go! Okay, we got Chocobos next. And there should be another set of Chocobos. There's a third. And I think the mimics are next. There we go. On to the second boss. Alright, this is an okay first try, but we still got a bunch of people dead already. Alright, there's our first good shot. We'll see how the next couple of rounds go here, if we end up in the same situation as last time. Alright, here we go, round 2. I didn't make that one in time. Looks like mostly everybody's where they need to be this time. looks like Alliance A is getting carried here. Alright, we'll give this a few more tries and we'll see what happens here. Okay, that seemed a little bit better that time. Okay, I think people are starting to learn that mechanic. The Fire Fist one, people still gotta work on. But at least it doesn't seem like too many people are dying to being crushed by the pillars anymore. Alright, he's on me at this point. Yeah, looks like my stuff is starting to get down as well here. Alright, well, even if we can't complete this tonight, there is one other thing I want to check out tonight. I would say let's give it at least one more try. Alright, here we go. Alright, a lot of people are down already here, so I get the feeling we're probably going to be abandoning after this attempt. And just to be clear, I'm not complaining here about the situation. I'm glad that people are struggling. It gives people a chance to learn how a fight is supposed to work, instead of just face-rolling the whole thing. The Weeping City of Mach is just like that, and we're gonna get there eventually. In fact, it's even more possible now that we've got what's called the Alliance Raid Roulette. Looks like A did not kill theirs in time. Alright, yeah, we're not even getting past the DPS check at this point here for there. So, let's go ahead and just take it. Alright, so at this point, we're gonna go ahead and try to, we're basically gonna get out of here, because this is, at this point, this is the second team, and a lot of people just are not understanding how this is supposed to work. Or at least they're getting the idea, but they just don't have enough experience with it just yet to actually be able to get past it here. It's the same thing that happened with Death X, and, or X-Death, rather. And we'll be able to come back in here, get a victory in this place. Anyway, in the meantime, I want to check out one other feature here today. And for that, we're going to need to make our way over to New Gridania. And we're gonna make our way over to here, where the serpents are for the and their grand company, and we're gonna head inside of here, inside the barracks. Now, leading up to this patch, since late in Heavensward, you were able to basically put together your own team of NPCs, essentially, and I've been working on this group since that function came out. I believe they're just getting off of a training. Actually, no, they should be all set to go. But what's happened is a new feature was released, which is going to allow you to basically bring these guys into dungeons with you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a group of them here, and we're basically going to make a trip into a dungeon. And what I'm thinking is, let's go ahead and grab one of the classes that we have, that we still need to keep leveling up here. And for that, I'm going to grab my Scholar. So, we'll go under here, and Scholar. And now, let me go ahead and get my summon out, Eos. And let's talk to this guy. So, here we go. We've received a missive from the Adder's Nest, if you'll permit me. For ongoing excellence in the Adventurer Squadron Initiative, Lieutenant Brightstar Squadron is hereby granted authorization to undertake command missions, effective immediately. Well, an expansion of our sphere of activity. This is proof positive of the company's faith in us, Commander. Conversely, it also means that expectations run higher. Let us set about our task with renewed vigor and continue on our exemplary course. You now have access to command missions. These duties put you at the head of a 4-man unit, yourself and 3 soldiers, for a foray into an instanced dungeon. Command missions may be undertaken by speaking with the squadron sergeant. Successful completion may yield unique rewards. If you wish to know more, please refer to the squadron guide. Alright, command missions. Alright, so we're going to go inside the Stone Vigil. And what we're going to need here is a tank. So we'll grab Sion. And we're going to need 2 DPS. So let's grab Begter. And let's also grab Railthota. Actually, no, let's grab Toragana. Alright. And let's go ahead and deploy. And so, if you ever needed a way to basically level up as a DPS and you didn't want to continue doing Palace of the Dead, this would be an option for you. Okay, and as we can see here, we now have this orders bar here, and we can engage, disengage, or execute limit break, or at least that's what it's going to have when everything is unlocked. Right now, I believe the only thing we can do is just engage. Okay, so let's go ahead and cast Protect on everyone. And let's see. I'm just gonna move that over here for now. Let's go ahead and use Succor. And let's target and engage. Actually, in this case, well, I'll take care of it after this fight. But nice grab there, Scion. Alright, let me bring up my healer HUD at this point here. There we go. I like to have everything close by like this so I can easily just mouse over and then use a single button. That's what these are down here. I've got macros that are set up with a mouse over function. So here's physic, it's just simply mycon physic, and then action physic mouse over. So it doesn't activate if I'm not mousing over anyone. And this is similar to what's called a grid style of healing. If you're familiar with the grid add-on from World of Warcraft. Alright, let's go ahead and engage that dragon. And engage. Now, one of the things that is helping these guys out is the fact that the NPCs have essentially been given a boost here. Independent Tactics is what it's called here. Maximum HP and damage dealt are increased, while damage taken is reduced. And it looks like that has the ability to stack up. Alright, so I'm actually going to grab this guy. Disengage and now engage him. And the reason you want to do that is so that basically you don't pull the whole room here. And we're going to do the same tactic here. Disengage. And now you can engage. Alright, go for it, guys. And obviously, I got Eos helping me with the healing a bit here. Now, there's probably a way that I can give these guys different directions here through the key bindings, and in fact, let me take a look for that real quick. Let's see, hotbar. Oops, something came in. That's actually kind of curious that you can't do that. Am I able to move these? No, I can't even... I mean, I can move them, but I can't actually do a key binding to them. So that's kind of curious about that. So hopefully that's something that gets patched in eventually. No, I think I liked it better when it was up here. Alright, so it's time to take on our first boss here. And away we go. Alright, so we need to get close to this guy. Alright, Toragana got caught up in it. Alright, and down goes the first boss. Okay, moving on. Alright, next one. I think that bard just used everything it had. Okay, moving on. So as you can tell, these guys are very by the books here. They don't do multi-pills, but these guys are also taking these enemies down so quickly, they really don't even need to do that. Okay, on to the second boss. Now, I get the feeling that unique mechanics they're not going to be able to handle on their own. Yeah, so handling the cannons, that's gonna be on me. Makes me wonder how a tank would deal with that. Alright, down goes the second boss. Okay, so even though they don't necessarily do things by the book, looks like my tank was able to pick up this guy. So if you want to do your multi-pulls, you can still do that. Alright, and so we just leveled up to level 48. Okay, and this should be the last boss. Alright, let's get this going. Okay, he's taken off. Now we need to watch. Fortunately, those two just stood in that. Oh hey, he just is positional there. If you're not aware, positionals basically allow you to do more damage compared to just being on the wrong side of the enemy. Let's see where he goes this time. Okay, we should be good to finish him off. Let's go ahead and try the limit break. It's decently powerful, not as powerful. No, actually, no. I guess it is kind of as powerful as the typical limit break. We just didn't get an opportunity to build up to level 2. Alright, let's go ahead and exit here. Okay. And there we go, mission complete. Now the other thing is that everybody's level has been... the level cap for these guys was 50. With this patch it has been increased to 60. So I'm going to be running this many times with these guys in order to level them up. Battle tactics govern unit members' behavior during a command mission. Initially, only the tactic Independent is available, but more will be learned as you complete missions. Other tactics include Offensive, Balanced, and Defensive. Each directs a unit member's behavior while offering unique enhancing effects. These effects receive boosts as you complete missions and gain in Tactics Mastery. Battle tactics can be set ahead of a mission. To do so, speak with your soldiers in the barracks and select Display Orders. And so, if we were to go over to our tank... we've got these different options here. Right now he is Independent. And he's got 1 point of mastery in independent, and 1 point of mastery in balanced. And as you can see, that changes depending upon that changes what their buff is going in. And then they also have the ability to have glamour put on them, but that's something. Actually, it looks like that doesn't become available until level 51. Alright, so with that done, let's go ahead and make our way back over to our house one more time. Alright, here we are. Alright, so once again, as we can see, we just have this material supplier here. Let's make our way downstairs. And we're going to go under the housing options. And what we're going to do is we're going to put up a couple of things here. We're going to put this up. And as you might remember, this was given to us during the main scenario quest for Stormblood. That is a sketch of Yugiri and Gosetsu. As of this point, we still have yet to step into the main scenario quest for patch 4.1, and we are going to be looking at that in the future. But there are also other parts, other quests that are available as well that I also want to get to. And pictured here is a man and a woman, a pair that is well known to those that do know them. The woman is named Nashu, and the man on the left there, he has gone through some of the most amazing adventures anybody could ever think of. He is the man who sent himself flying towards Dalamode in an attempt to stop it from falling. And though we will never be able to see that part of his adventure, there are many other adventures that are available for us to experience with them. And once patch 4.1 is complete, it is my intention to start going through their series, as well as some of the other side content that is available, including the Alliance raids. I will note, though, when we do get to this particular content, I do intend to age restrict that content, specifically because there is some content in there that may not pass muster. But, once again, that's for another time. We still have plenty of patch 4.1 to complete, and we are going to continue this on the next episode. Thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.